Wrdw has pledged to create his own election police force.
Not only is the COVID Omicron variant highly contagious, but it is also becoming resistant to some treatment options. Back in December of 2020, AU first opened a monoclonal antibody clinic. Doctors say that clinic helps keep patients out of the hospital. But now health providers aren't allowed to use two types of monoclonal antibody treatments because they just don't work very well against the new variant.
Also today, the National Institute of Health just releasing a study about other treatment options to reduce how severely people get sick from COVID. Wrdw shows us how a product from one local business is leading the way on shelves nationwide.
It's really good for muscles.
Finding fully stocked shelves with elderberry products isn't typical for Haley Manis this time of year.
We have had a crazy demand with our retail stores and online.
During the flu season is when most people buy her products, and with COVID cases rising, more people turn to her for business.
I started taking this every day to boost my immune system, lower inflammation, and so it's been a great addition to my healthy remedies.
She's the founder of Roots and Leaves and created her own product out of elderberries.
They can help not only prevent and treat the flu virus, but if you start taking it at the onset of symptoms, it dramatically reduces how long you're sick.
Studies shared by the National Center for Biotechnology Information say elderberries are effective with cold and flu symptoms. One trial says it reduced flu symptoms by 4 days.
The first sign of illness, even if you think it's allergies, just start taking it.
Her recipe has 12 herbs.
Turmeric and echinacea and garlic and a bunch of extra things that work synergistically to help support your immune system even further.
Researchers are looking to take this remedy a step further. The National Institute of Health is looking at a 2-year study to see if elderberries can help the effects of COVID.
Elderberries help to modulate the inflammation and reduce that. And the additional herbs that I put in my tonic do as well, like turmeric. I put a lot of fresh turmeric into my product.
Doctors say the best protection is still to get vaccinated, but it can't hurt to have some help.
It's a great tool to have in your toolbox. I mean, we want to take vitamin C and vitamin D and everything we can do right now to keep ourselves and our families healthy.
In Augusta, Wrdw on your side.
And we'll drink to that. Back in 2018, her products were only in 3 retail stores locally. Now she has products in 300 stores across the country.
All right, it can't hurt, right, to take it at least. Someone in the River region might have just won $50,000. A Powerball ticket worth that much sold in Aiken for Saturday's drawing. You will want to check your ticket to see if you bought it at the airport stop and shop on Columbia Highway. The winning numbers were 5, 16, 27, 39, and 61 with the Powerball number 24. There's also another drawing tonight with an estimated jackpot at $147 million.
Don't lose that ticket.
Yeah, no kidding.
Space, unfortunately, is turning into a bit of...
By Sunday, there will be the chance for a few showers, but at the moment that does look low. I'd keep your weekend plans if you got them.
All right, some good advice. Thank you, Riley. A World War II veteran in Virginia celebrated his 103rd birthday this weekend with hundreds of people from across the country sending him birthday cards. Orlando Phillips's daughter turned to social media asking the community to send him these birthday cards. The post was shared more than 500 times, and 103 cards quickly turned to more than 1,000.
And if that story sounds familiar, it's because last week we met a local World War II veteran also celebrating a big birthday over the weekend. Just like Orlando Phillips in Virginia, Louis Graziano got hundreds of birthday cards in honor of his 99th birthday. Mr. Graziano celebrated his birthday yesterday at his church in Thompson, and I hope he's still reading a lot of cards. You know, sports coming up next. Brooks Pangle rewrote the record books at Greenbrier High School. We're going to hear where he's heading to college after the break with sports.
And just because you're not in school doesn't mean you have to stop learning. Coming up, an easy way to get smart without studying.
A Greenbrier elementary schooler with leukemia needs a bone marrow donor, but our IT found the odds are stacked against her because of the color of her skin.
For Lydia, the donor pool is unfortunately small.
You can help change that tonight on News 12 at 6 o'clock.
The long way to your 65 to call. Are you 64.com.
Okay, who doesn't want to become a little smarter? The more you know, the easier it might be to start a conversation with someone. Jamie Tucker introduces us to an app you can use if you don't have time to read or watch a 2-hour documentary or even take an online course.
Uptime is an entertaining app for iPhones, iPads, and Android devices that can not only teach new thoughts and ideas, but does it quickly. You're asked to choose at least 3 topics you're interested in. I chose about a half dozen. Uptime then curates a selection of work from books, articles, movies, documentaries. It's kind of like an even shorter Cliff Notes version. Uptime calls them hacks. I found this book hack, Time and How to Spend It, a hack of a Beastie Boys documentary, and a course hack on business leadership by Howard Schultz. The hacks, if you will, are just 5 minutes long and features full-screen graphics, animations that you can watch or read, or Uptime reads them for you. This hack of the Malcolm Gladwell book, The Tipping Point, includes a portion of one of his TED Talks.
So aside, Prego is a better tomato sauce than ragu.
Stick with his talk and you'll hear why he's discussing spaghetti sauce. Thousands of bite-sized hacks of fascinating topics from some of the greatest minds in the world. Uptime is free at the moment. The team says on its website they're working on a paid subscription version for later this year. It's a nice way to turn downtime to uptime. I'm Jamie Tucker, and Uptime is the app of the day.
And the takeaway from that, it's free now, but it may charge later, so you might want to download it now to take advantage
I
of it.
like it. Learn something new and
Yeah.
keep it short while you're at it. Okay, the world's tallest IMAX screen coming to Georgia, 101 feet wide, just about 76 feet tall. That's compared to the current screen, which is only 40 by 70 feet. Royal Cinemas and IMAX, they say the project was supposed to be completed in Pooler outside Savannah during 2020, but of course, like everything else, it was delayed by COVID, but can't wait to see a movie there.
Everything we've been dealing with, it was something we're really excited for, but now with all the stresses, all the problems, and all the trials and tribulations that the world has been going into, especially our community, it'll be really nice to have something that we can go to and enjoy as an entertainment and be able to just lose ourselves into a different world.
It's not just big. The theater says the screen will have increased resolution, sharper images, and the widest range of colors. They don't have an exact start date yet, but it should be finished in the next few weeks. Again, it's in Pooler, outside Savannah. So check this out. One of the most expensive chess sets in the world, right here in Augusta. It's on display at Windsor Jewelers right now, selling for about $1 million. The pieces are made out of 14-karat yellow and white gold, adorned with gemstones. The set is nearly 11 pounds of gold. Took 4 artists almost a year to finish it up. It was originally commissioned and completed in 1971. It's been in the private collection of a couple of families, only 2 families, since then.
Wow, I'd be scared to touch it. Honestly, I would not want to play chess with that. Happening tonight, the Aiken County Spelling Bee. The competition is taking place at the Center for Performing Arts in downtown Aiken. It starts at 7 o'clock tonight. Super exciting for the 12 finalists who are representing middle and elementary schools from throughout Aiken County. We will bring you the winners coming up here on News 12, and good luck to all of them. It is tax season, but you don't need an accountant or pricey software to file your taxes. If you had an adjusted gross income of $73,000 or less last year, you can file for free. Just go to the free file online options page on the IRS website. You'll be given a checklist of the materials needed, and then from there you can browse all the providers with offers for free filing.
Cindy's Sweet Shop in Aiken wants to deliver as many Valentines as possible to seniors in nursing homes and assisted living facilities. That's why every person who brings in a homemade Valentine will get a $2 in-store gift certificate. You can go to all the way until February the 10th, and Valentines, those will be delivered, of course, on the 14th.
National Signing Day has come and gone, but we've still got some local athletes committing to play sports at the next level. Nick Proto is here with the next high school signing standout, finding his future home.
Brooks Pangle rewrote the record books over at Greenbrier. He owns nearly every passing record and helped turn the struggling Pack around in his last 2 seasons. Now he's heading to Georgia Southern to play college ball. Pangle had offers from schools like Mercer and Furman, but ultimately decided to go with the Eagles. Georgia Southern signed 2 other quarterbacks in this class, as well as bringing in one through the transfer portal. So it's a crowded QB room for new head coach Clay Helton. Georgia Southern, not known for throwing the ball a lot, but Pangle says with Helton and the new system, he's looking forward to being a part of a new brand in Statesboro.
Historically, obviously, they've been that triple option team, which, you know, a kid like me throwing it 50 times a game is probably not my best plan. But I went on a visit, talked to the coaches, and I think they are going to go to a more air raid type attack, and I'm looking forward to being in that system.
Pangle will join Washington Wilkes star Dalen Cobb over at Georgia Southern. Coming up on News 12 at 6 o'clock, we'll hear from former Grovetown star and current Cincinnati Bengals player Deontay Smith as he gets ready for Super Bowl 56.
All right, good stuff. Thanks for that, Nick. We are still tracking.
Hi, Suzanne Lily Henny Michael here with Hardwood Floors and More. It's a new year and the perfect time to create new spaces in your home that you will love. Whether you are looking for flooring, lighting, or new furniture pieces to spruce up your space, we have it all. When you visit our showroom, our designers are here to make your life easier with options to fit your home and style at a price you can afford. There's a reason we're the company that friends recommend. Come see us today at Hardwood Floors and More in Evans.
Right now, finding you from the station that's on your side. This is News 12 at 6 o'clock.
Alex died because somebody gave him something that was poison. And now we have to live the rest of our lives without him in our life.
Heartbreaking words today from a Columbia County father after losing his stepson to an overdose.
Alex King was just 28 years old when investigators say he overdosed on pills laced with fentanyl back in 2020. Now, nearly 2 years later, a man is charged with his murder.
Colin McGill facing a murder charge for allegedly selling the fentanyl-laced drug that led to King's death. King's mother, too distraught today to do an interview. So his stepfather sat down with our Meredith Anderson today.
Tell me who Alex was, for people who never met him.
He was a really special kid to us.
It's been an emotional day for Alex King's family. Just a couple hours after Brian Lugo sat down for this interview.
We never thought we'd have life without him. Ever.
He was standing next to Columbia County District Attorney Bobby Christine during this news conference, announcing felony murder charges against the man who allegedly supplied his stepson with a deadly dose of fentanyl.
Why is this arrest so important?
It doesn't take the pain away from our family, but for justice for Alex and for his mother and his sisters and his father, stepmother, myself, and his family, you know, we want somebody to be held accountable for his death.
Alex died in July of 2020. He was 28 years old. Sort of, because he was a leap year baby.
So that made him 7 years old, because he only had 7 birthdays before he passed.
He was funny, with a big personality. And this memorial still sits outside Rob Zapata's Electric, where he worked. He was loved, and his family says he wasn't suicidal. He had no idea he was taking something dangerous.
It's not a reflection of who he was. I think the misperception is when people hear overdose, especially when they hear fentanyl, they don't understand. They think drug addict, but that's not what this case was. This was basically poisoning. Nobody intentionally takes fentanyl because that's the drug of their choice.
Just like no one would ever choose to be in Brian Lugo's shoes. But he knows the journey to justice is paved with pain. He also knows Alex's memory can live on if this case can help others. So he'll keep fighting for Alex and for the countless others like him who could be one split decision away from his same fate.
I miss that kid.
Meredith Anderson, on your side.
I miss him a lot.
And unfortunately, Alex King is part of a much larger story. The CDC graph shows drug overdose in the U.S. since 2015. In 2015, back in June, the U.S. reported about 50,000. The numbers climb every single year till you see nearly 100,000 in June of 2021. News 12 Celeste Springer live from the Columbia County Justice Center, where the district attorney spoke in the last few hours. And Celeste, he says today's arrest is meant to send a message.
Laura, this case shows a bigger picture in our community, a bigger picture that's happening in our own homes. Alex's family says he didn't know that he was taking fentanyl, and he's one of the many that paid the price for it. A crowded courtroom full of blue badges. They've seen ODs firsthand, been there after someone's last breath. District Attorney Christine says it's time for some accountability.
Because it is my belief that in some communities, lawbreakers don't know where the red line in the sand is.
We don't have numbers for Columbia County yet, but our I-team found 80% of all drug overdoses in Aiken County alone involved fentanyl in 2020. In July of 2021, fentanyl accounted for 70% of deadly drug overdoses in Richmond County for the year. Fentanyl overdoses high, but even then, it's not necessarily a drug of choice. Though District Attorney Christine was not able to speak specific to this case, he says people frequently have no idea they're taking fentanyl. Last year, the U.S. Attorney's Office sentenced 2 Burke County men to prison for pressing fentanyl to look like other pills.
Pursuit of these pushers must be put into motion in order to drive this scourge from our community.
150 people die a day from fentanyl. On July 19, 2020, Alex King was just one of them, a single face in a sea of many others.
Your district attorney's office in Columbia County will back the blue.
And a DA with hopes that it all ends here, for those dying each day and for those working to save them. And if you or anyone you know is battling addiction, we'll have resources on our website. There's also other measures that you can take, including equipping yourself with Narcan or fentanyl test strips. We'll have information on how to get those online as well.
Okay, some good advice for a lot of people. Celeste, thank you.
We have much more news ahead. Give you a live look outside now from our new tower camp.
Out, have a look at a much drier work week, though, in just about 10 minutes.
New developments in the investigation into 2 Waynesboro police officers. This is an exclusive look here at body cam video from the night a mother claims a man tried to kidnap her 7-year-old daughter right in front of these 2 officers who then let the man go. Kennedy Harris walking us through this video.
I'm furious. I am emotionally, mentally, and physically distraught.
Chandra Hendrick's 7-year-old daughter loves to play outside and she loves to draw. But over the last few weeks, no new drawings have been added to their refrigerator. She says anxiety has taken over after she was nearly kidnapped.
He should be behind bars right now. My little girl doesn't even feel safe.
This is the body cam of Officer Ronald Bartlett. The other officer you see is Sergeant Greg Stroud. After Sam Hendricks is placed in the police car, you can hear his daughter crying. Then you see officers walk past a man opening the passenger side door of Hendricks' truck where the girl is sitting. Sergeant Stroud walks back into the store. When Officer Bartlett turns around, you see the man holding a puppy and walking away with the girl. Bartlett sits in his car for about 3 minutes, and then he gets out of his car and stops the man from driving off with the child.
Where are you taking the child? Mother's on her way here. So you wait here if you don't mind, please.
Bartlett walks over to Sergeant Stroud and asks if Mr. Hendricks said his wife was on the way. Stroud says yes.
Inside that car. I just know he was leaving. I said, no.
You can see the man's car in the back backing up. Bartlett walks back over and talks with him more.
You understand they can talk you kidnapping.
With the girl still in the back seat, Stroud walks over, questions the man, and tells him he's not in trouble.
And my daughter is sitting in the back seat of this man's car telling you she's not okay. And she's terrified. And you leave her there.
And we are still waiting to hear if the man in the video will face charges. We've also asked about the officer status with the department. Our investigation found Officer Bartlett fired from the Richmond County Sheriff's Office in 2006. Officer Stroud worked at 6 different agencies and was fired from 2, including Richmond County. He's also been on a 24-month probation twice in his 21 years in law enforcement.
Still ahead, unfair odds. Our I-team follows a local elementary school student's search for a bone marrow donor and how you can help find her match. Next.
What can I... Security Federal Bank.
Imagine there's a cure for your only daughter, just to have to find the person who holds the key to the right door.
That is how the Johnson family feels right now as they desperately search for a bone marrow donor for their daughter, Amelia. But our I-team found, unfortunately, Amelia is up against unfair odds because of the color of her skin.
Amelia was a perfectly healthy, smart, shy 3rd grader at Greenbrier Elementary, busy with gymnastics and karate, looking forward to her birthday.
Back in September, I noticed she had some easy bruising and then some gum bleeding. So that was a little scary.
After extensive testing, they got a diagnosis that changed everything.
So Amelia has a type of leukemia called AML, and it is associated with high risk of relapse.
We could have never imagined anything like this happening to her.
Since then, she's been through 2 rounds of chemo, and she's responding well to treatment. But the fear is how soon until she relapses, and what then?
It's just so unfair for kids to go through something like this.
But a cure is out there, hiding in the bone marrow of a stranger. They just have to find it.
And without it, some of the patients unfortunately do end up dying.
She needs a bone marrow transplant in the next few months for her best chance. Our I-team found, unfortunately, the odds are stacked against Amelia. National donor registries like Be the Match connect donors with patients, but finding a match depends on finding a donor who shares a similar genetic makeup.
And unfortunately for Amelia, because from being a mixed race and also from Asian and African American ethnicity, the donor pool is unfortunately small.
How small? Our I-team found right now Black patients only have a 29% chance of finding a match. Asian or Pacific Islanders only 47%. White patients represent the largest donor pool, and the odds of finding a match go up dramatically to 79%. One of the reasons Black patients have a harder time finding a match is only 4% of donors registered with Be the Match are African American. Our I-team found a study by the Medical University of South Carolina that found major barriers in the Black community. Lack of awareness that transplantation can save lives, the cost of donation, which is completely free, and fewer opportunities to donate.
You don't really get hit with this kind of stuff until it's you or somebody that you love, and that's unfortunate.
But you can help change Amelia's odds, and it starts with a simple cheek swab. You can register online, and they'll even mail it to your house.
They said, hey, you can swab your cheek. It'll take a couple minutes to just sign up, and you could save a life. And I was like, okay, cool.
That's Miranda Parnell. You may recognize her. She used to be a reporter here at News 12. Back in college, she signed up for the bone marrow registry. 8 years later, she got a call.
I never say yes to something so quickly. When they told me that this was a 2-year-old girl and I could possibly help and it could save her life, I don't really need to know anything outside of that. Sign me up.
Part of the trouble with getting donors to sign up is they hear bone marrow and assume it's very intense or painful to donate.
Now, all the donations, this is probably the easiest thing to do in terms of, saving lives.
Up front, it's just a cheek swab. If you match with someone,
so 80% of the time they actually just get the stem cells from the blood, and it's like a platelet donation where they'll draw the stem cells out of the blood and then it's put back in your body.
20% of the time they take bone marrow from the pelvic bone. That's what happened with Miranda.
You really just have to be willing to go take a nap. Like, it's not like you're doing the surgery. You just lay down, go to sleep, you wake up, boom. Hopefully the kid's better. Why wouldn't you do it?
Some Tylenol, and 2 days later, Miranda was back at work. And for families worried about what the future holds, your donation could mean more birthdays, more gymnastics meets, and more time.
She's artistic, she's very smart, strong, beautiful, brave. That's what I tell her all the time.
For kids like Amelia.
And there are a few different registries you can sign up for and get a cheek swab like we showed you. If you're between 18 and 40, you're eligible to sign up at bethematch.com. If you're between 18 and 55, you can sign up at dkms.org. All you do is put in your information online. They will mail a swab and a return envelope to your house for free. It is so easy to do. And if you can't figure this out, seriously, email me. I will make sure we get a swab in your hand to try to find a match for Amelia. But if you're thinking about doing this, please do not hesitate. Don't dwell on it. For Amelia to have the best prognosis, the best chance, she needs a match in just the next couple of months.
To Weather Now to give you a